Doubling rate of COVID-19 cases in India reduces post-lockdown with a decline of 40% in growth factor. Reduces to 6.2 days compared to 3 days before lockdown. Total confirmed cases of COVID-19 stand at 13,835 with 452 deaths and 1,766 recoveries. At least 20 Navy personnel test positive for COVID-19 at a naval base in Mumbai. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds a telephonic conversation with presidents of South Africa and Egypt, says India stands ready to extend all possible support in fight against COVID-19. Russia expresses gratitude at Indian government's decision to send a shipment of medicines. Group of ministers meet in New Delhi to deliberate on containment and management of COVID-19. Health Minister reiterates social distancing and isolation are most effective social vaccines. COVID-19 cases continue to spiral globally with more than 22 lakh cases and 1.5 lakh fatalities. US coronavirus death toll passes 35,000. Hello and welcome to this edition of the news. I'm Rukma in our top story. As a nation fights the pandemic of COVID-19, the benefits of the countrywide lockdown have begun to show gradually. According to the Health Ministry, the lockdown and resultant restrictions have had an impact on doubling of cases. The number of days during which the cases doubled has increased. Before lockdown, doubling rate of COVID-19 cases was about 3 days, but according to data in the past 7 days, the doubling rate of the cases now stands at 6.2 days. The doubling rate is lower than the national level in 19 states and union territories. In the same manner, the growth factor has also registered a 40% decline owing to the lockdown. The ministry says we have been witnessing average growth factor at 1.2 since April 1st, which stood at 2.1 average between March 15th to March 31st. Hence, there is 40% decline in average growth factor, even as we increased COVID-19 testings. India has also ramped up its efforts to augment indigenous manufacturing of critical equipment, including personal protection equipment, ventilators and antibodies testing kits. All our actions are focused on speeding up vaccine development. We are working on recombinant BCG, convalescent plasma therapy, monoclonal antibodies to fight COVID-19. Indigenous manufacturing of RT-PCR kits had started and will produce 10 lakh kits per month from May 2020. Rapid antibody detection kits will also start manufacturing with a capacity of 10 lakh kits per month by May 2020. 5 lakh rapid antibody test kits are distributed in all states and districts on the basis of high case burden. Production of ancillary support devices such as personal protective equipment, oxygen concentrators, ventilators, CSIR engineering labs is being augmented. The Ministry of Home Affairs has meanwhile notified more activities exempt from lockdown measures from the 20th of April. These activities include non-banking financial institutions, including housing finance companies and microfinance institutions with bare minimum staff and cooperative credit societies. Construction activities in rural areas, including water supply and sanitation, laying and erection of power transmission lines and laying of telecom optical fiber and cable, along with related activities, are also exempted. Some more plantation activities including bamboo, coconut, areca nut, cocoa and spices plantations, and their harvesting, processing, packaging, sale and marketing are also in the exempted list. Collection, harvesting and processing of minor forest produce by scheduled tribes and other forest dwellers in forest areas is also exempt from lockdown measures. And to give us more details about supply of essentials, our correspondent Meghna joins us. Meghna, what can you tell us about the status of supply of essentials, the latest updates in this regard?
Rukma, I am currently here. When you talk about essential supplies, vegetables and fruits are the most important essential supply besides milk currently. And I am here at the Azadpur Sabzi Mandi in New Delhi, and I would like to show you, keep you with the visuals. Now, this is an entry point which has been marked, and this is a huge mandi where you actually don't have a place to, actually move around because it's so jam-packed with people generally. But there is one point which has been marked only for entry, so no other person can enter from any other place. And people are being checked with their masks. People are being checked with the passes that they have with them, and after that they are given a token of entry into the mandi. Now this token is also a dated token. Now this token basically has got the number of people who have gone inside. It also has the date of today, so that today's token cannot be used tomorrow. This is also to regulate the entry of the number of people who are going inside the mandi. Also, this is the lane in which the vehicles actually come. So these vehicles from where they bring vegetables and fruits from across the country, and so these are the vehicles, small mini doors also, big trucks also come here. They are being checked, thoroughly checked, and then they are being given a clearance to go inside the mandi. And regular sanitization is also being practiced. The sweeping, mopping of the entire area is being done. There's a sanitization tunnel also. Thermal scanning is being done of people who are entering inside the mandi. So all of this is being put into place. There's also, early in the morning when the mandi, the number of people who go inside the mandi, so these circles have also been, marked on the entrance, on the way to the entrance, so that people actually do not forget to practice social distancing, which is extremely important. Rukma, there's also one important thing, because it's a mandi, there are big sacks and big, big heavy weights that people have to lift. Obviously, they have to take help of each other to actually lift the heavy sacks of vegetables and fruits. But despite that, people are wearing gloves and masks, which are actually, acting as a shield when they actually are trying to practice social distancing at such hours. And these are definitely one of those people who are actually providing essential supplies to the entire country and are helping us with that. Yes, Ukma.
Right, Meghna, and what are the challenges, the kind of challenges that the lockdown has posed as far as the retail business, the retail selling, taking out into the markets and where, or into the societies, and what are the kind of challenges that are being faced and how are these being overcome?
Rukma, the biggest challenge in a vegetable mandi, in a sabzi mandi, is of social distancing, and that challenge is trying to be overcome, because we know a sabzi mandi is one such place where a number of people come at a time, go with their sacks and with other people also to help them get their supplies of vegetables and everybody. And general public is not being allowed inside the mandi. Only people with their passes who are eligible to go inside the sabzi mandi, they are being checked, their identity is being checked, and then only they are being allowed inside the mandi. And they are those people who actually bring supplies near our houses, and they are those people who actually have their lorries and their barrows, and they get the vegetables to us. So these are those people who are being allowed inside the mandi. And I also went inside the mandi and spoke to a number of people, number of vegetable vendors inside the mandi who are wholesalers. They are actually telling that there is no price hike. people need not panic. Obviously, this is lockdown 2.0, so now people are actually, have got that sense that there is no need of panic buying because the essential supplies are available. So now I spoke to a few of the vendors inside. They've also told me that, from different places, tomatoes are coming from different places. There is lemon coming from places. There's onion and potatoes coming from different places. And they are the drivers. The truck drivers are also working day and night to actually, keep the supply chain going. So the supply chain is going. Retailers are coming inside, buying their stock from the mandi and selling to the, to the places near your houses where you are actually getting your essential supplies. So this chain is actually going along quite well. And the main step which is being taken in the mandi to actually, contain the spread of the virus. So sanitization tunnel, be it sanitization tunnel, be it practicing social distancing. People also have gamchas on their faces. People have masks on their faces. So all this is being, actually practiced to contain the spread of the virus and to actually prevent themselves. These are the precautionary measures that are being taken. So definitely in a place like a sabzi mandi where, the place is generally jam-packed with a number of people who actually come to this place. But this time when I've come to this place, there is a big fall in the number of people who are coming inside because there is strict regulation on the people who are going inside.
True.
The tokens which are being given, once there are quite a large number of people who have gone inside, the people here who are providing tokens are also stopping to give the tokens to other people who are coming in. So this all is actually, a measure to prevent the spread of the virus inside such a place where social distancing practicing is extremely difficult, but people are putting up to it.
Right, Meghna. Thank you so much for that, for those details, for that detailed update on how the sabzi mandis in the capital city, in the capital area, national capital area are functioning. That's just an example. Our correspondent Meghna Dev there on the ground with the report this early morning. And now moving on, according to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare's latest data, total confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the country stand at 13,835, whereas active COVID-19 cases in India stand at 11,616. 452 people have succumbed to the illness so far, while 1,766 have recovered. Prime Minister Narendra Modi continues to engage with world leaders on ways to tackle COVID-19. He had a telephone conversation yesterday with Cyril Ramaphosa, President of the Republic of South Africa. The two leaders exchanged views about the domestic, regional and global challenges posed by the pandemic. Prime Minister assured that India would provide all possible support to South Africa to ensure supplies of essential medicines during this challenging time. The Prime Minister commended the proactive role being played by President Ramaphosa in his current capacity as Chair of the African Union to coordinate a continent-wide response to the pandemic. Evoking the centuries-old ties of friendship and people-to-people exchanges between India and Africa, Prime Minister conveyed India's full support for the joint African effort against the virus. PM also had a telephonic conversation with Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, President of Egypt. The leaders discussed the evolving global situation in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic and exchanged information about the steps being taken by their respective governments to protect their populations. Prime Minister assured the Egyptian president that India would provide all possible support to ensure availability of pharmaceutical supplies during these difficult times. He also thanked President el-Sisi for the support being provided to Indian citizens present in Egypt. The two leaders agreed that their teams would remain in touch to ensure close coordination and experience sharing. The 12th meeting of Group of Ministers on COVID-19 was held under the chairpersonship of Dr. Harshvardhan. The GOM held detailed deliberations on containment and management of COVID-19 and also discussed action taken so far. The meeting was informed that all districts have been asked to prepare and strengthen their contingency plans to combat COVID-19. Several other measures about strengthening the capacity of states, including devoting adequate resources to create dedicated COVID-19 hospitals, equipping medical institutes with PPEs, ventilators and other essential equipment, etc., were also discussed in detail. The GOM also reviewed the testing strategy and availability of testing kits across the country, along with the strategy for hotspots and cluster management. The GOM was informed that 170 districts are being put in the red zone hotspots, with 123 districts with large outbreaks and 47 districts with clusters. There are 207 non-hotspot districts with clusters and 353 districts which are placed in green zone, as they are non-infected. Dr. Harshvardhan reiterated that social distancing and isolation are the most effective social vaccines against COVID-19 and appealed to everyone to follow protocol of personal hygiene and respiratory protocols during the lockdown period. And moving on now, Maharashtra is leading the national tally for the largest number of COVID patients in the country at 3,205. 194 have lost their lives to the disease in the statistics so far. News coming in is that at least 20 Navy personnel have tested positive for COVID-19 at a naval base in Mumbai. Our correspondent Yogesh Sheetal joins us with more details. Well, Yogesh, good morning to you. Well, a bit disheartening then news coming in of naval personnel testing positive for COVID-19. What is the exact number of positive cases among the Navy personnel, and when was this report released?
See, the exact number cannot be said as of now because some test results are still pending. But as of now, what we are confirming is at least 20 naval personnel have been found positive, and which is confirmed by the top authority in Indian Navy. Now the thing is, this is the first stage of COVID-19 cases being reported in Indian Navy. This is definitely a major concern because we know that Maharashtra is already has already reported more than 3,000 cases of now. So this is a major concern as far as defense is concerned, as far as Maharashtra is concerned. Also, let me tell you that all the necessary protocols that have been laid down by the government, by the state government, and also by the central government are properly being looking into by the officials. What we have learned as of now that the entire block has been sanitized, and also the primary and secondary contact of the people they have been found infected are being traced. A massive operation has been launched by the Indian Navy, and they are just tracing the people who may have come into in the contact of these officers. So currently, entire area has also been cordoned off. So all the necessary measures are being taken, and I think we should wait by the time that all results, that the pending results are coming out, and then exact number would be cleared. Yeah.
Right, Yogesh, a little bit more information. Well, when we're talking about these naval personnel, were they displaying symptoms? Was that why they were tested, or was it a kind of blanket checkup that was conducted? Moreover, we'd also like to know whether these naval personnel were were they at sea, or were they in their base?
That's a good question. Exactly. See, when we just asked the same question to the official, they are saying that they were symptomatic. So when the symptoms surface, then the tests were conducted, and then at least 20 personnel were found positive. So now they are tracing the other people of primary and secondary contact. And also let me tell you that INS Angre, exactly the places where the officials have been found positive, is not very far from the Naval dockyard, which is basically the house of the warships and also submarines. So the concern is very high, and that's the reason why the massive operation has been launched by Indian Navy. So there was symptoms that was surfaced, and after the symptoms surfaced, then the tests were conducted, and then they found positive.
Right, Yogesh. Thank you very much for joining us there and for those inputs. And Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan yesterday held a meeting with Delhi Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal, Health Minister Satyendra Jain, and senior health officials via video conference. Dr. Harshvardhan has said that the government has been receiving complaints that patients with emergency situations were denied treatment at some hospitals. At the meeting, the Union Health Minister asked the medical superintendents of hospitals to ensure that non-COVID-19 patients with chronic illness are not denied treatment.
ट्रीटमेंट लेना है, ऑपरेशन होना है ऑब्जर्वेशन होना है अस्पताल की इमरजेंसी में, वो तो टेलीफोन से नहीं हो पाएगा। इसलिए किसी को भी किसी भी मरीज़ को वंचित करने का इलाज से अधिकार नहीं है। ये सारे मेडिकल सुपरिटेंडेंट्स को हमने बताया है, और अगर आगे से इस प्रकार की कोई भी हम लोग को शिकायतें मिलती हैं तो उसके लिए फिर एक अकाउंटेबिलिटी सिस्टम के अंदर फिक्स की जाएगी, और जो लोग इस जिम्मेदारी में कोताही करेंगे उनके खिलाफ जो है फिर सरकार को थोड़ा सख्ती का रुख अपनाना पड़ेगा।
And following the call from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, civil servants from the All India Civil Services and the central services have come together through an IT-enabled platform, Karuna, to help the country tide over the crisis of the corona pandemic. The group, which is completely a voluntary association, focuses its efforts mainly in 5 areas: food, medical, logistics, operational support and technology support. In a short span of 2 weeks, the strength of the collaboration has started showing immense results all across the country, be it in terms of distribution of food to the poor at Badarpur in Karimganj district of Assam, or distribution of relief material in Gurugram to those stranded from other states, or in joining hands in running community kitchens, distribution of ration in huge quantities to slum dwellers in Ludhiana and Bengaluru. All these efforts are being undertaken by Karuna with the sole purpose of responding to the clarion call of the Prime Minister. And in the wake of continuing COVID-19 outbreak in the country, Union Ministry for Home Affairs has decided to extend the suspension of all existing visas granted to foreigners except to those belonging to the diplomatic, official, UN or international organization, employment and project categories till 3rd May 2020. MHA has further directed that all incoming passenger traffic into India through any of the 107 immigration checkposts will remain suspended till 3rd May 2020. However, no such restriction would apply to vehicles, planes, ships, conveyances and trains carrying goods and supplies, whether essential or non-essential. Regular visa, e-visa or stay stipulation of such foreign nationals who have been stranded in India because of spread of COVID-19 in many parts of the world, and also due to travel restrictions imposed by Indian authorities and whose visas have expired or would be expiring during the period from 1st February 2020 midnight to 3rd May 2020 midnight, would be extended till midnight of 3rd May 2020 on gratis basis after making online application by the foreigner. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh reviewed the activities of the Armed Forces Medical Services and their assistance to civilian authorities to contain the spread of COVID-19. The minister has been briefed about various actions taken in terms of issuing advisories to armed forces personnel providing assistance to civilian authorities in respect of quarantine facilities, provisioning of hospitals and healthcare in the prevailing situation. While appreciating various measures initiated by the Armed Forces Medical Services, Rajnath Singh directed them to extend all possible assistance to civil authorities to overcome the challenges posed by COVID-19. The meeting was attended by Defence Secretary Dr. Ajay Kumar, Director General AFMS and other officials. The coronavirus outbreak has infected over 22 lakh people worldwide, while over 1,53,000 deaths have been reported till now. The US has the highest number of cases and deaths worldwide, over 6,99,706 confirmed infections and 36,773 deaths. Following the announcement of reopening guidelines, the governors for Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois, Indiana and Kentucky have formed a partnership to work together on restarting the economies in their states. The states collectively account for about 16% of total U.S. economic output. However, in another major announcement, U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a $19 billion relief program to help farmers cope with the impact of the coronavirus pandemic through a package that will include direct payment and mass purchases of produce, meat and other products. France registered 761 more deaths from coronavirus infections, bringing the total to 18,703, the fourth highest tally in the world. But the number of people in hospitals has declined for a third day running. And in another sign that the lockdown put in place a month ago is working, the French public health authorities said the total number of people in intensive care units fell for a ninth day in a row to 6,027, a low point since April 1st. At 18,681, the number of fatalities is up 4.2% over 24 hours, with the rate of increased deceleration for the second day running. The Islamic Affairs and Charitable Activities Department (IACAD) of the Dubai government on Friday announced that Muslims can offer Taraweeh prayers at home during the holy month of Ramadan, like the 5 daily obligatory prayers. The department in a statement said that prayers should be offered at homes as mosques are closed as part of the country's efforts to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Italian health officials declared a long-sought victory over coronavirus in poorer southern regions. Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte warned 6 weeks ago that Italy's ability to conquer COVID-19 depended on whether cases can stay largely contained to its northern epicenter around Milan. In the meantime, deaths from the epidemic in Italy rose by 575. While the number of new cases declined slightly, and scientists warned that infections were now mainly happening among family members. The official death toll since the outbreak came to light on February 24th has risen to 22,745. The Civil Protection Agency said, the second highest in the world after that of the US. However, the Italian authorities acknowledge that the true number of fatalities is much higher. The United Kingdom has launched a new coronavirus task force to support efforts to make a vaccine available to the public as quickly as possible. However, the UK government did not give more details on the expected timetable for development. The government said that 21 new research projects would get funding from a £14 million investment pool to rapidly progress treatments and vaccines. The officials also said that it would identify ways to fast-track clinical trials and also continue to support international efforts to find a vaccine. The UK has registered 14,576 deaths so far and has more than 1 lakh active cases. Well, that's all we have for you in this edition of the news. News and updates continue on DD News and DD India. Namaskar.